The seventh characteristic is transparency. Transparency is referring to the ability for the system to be perceived as a whole rather than a collection of cooperating components. Transparency is important to be perceived as user-friendly and easy to use. There are some aspects that we need to consider when we design the transparency of the system. They are access, location, and performance. Let's have a look at the first aspect, which is access transparency. Access here is referring to the access to the resources on the network, for example, file or data. First, the user should not aware the exact location of the file in the server, such as when they need to access it, he needs to specify the name of the server or worse, the IP address. Not all users are familiar with the concept of IP address and furthermore remembering it. Therefore, we should design a mechanism that the user can still access to the file remotely without having the trouble to remember the technical details. The second aspect of transparency is location. This is referring to the uniform namespace using to access it. Other than that, when we relocate the files or data to another location, it shall not affect the user accessibility to the files or data. The final aspect of transparency is performance. Some applications perform well when the load is low. However, when the load is high, the system cannot perform well. User can feel that the amount of waiting time is increasing when the load is high. System should be able to improve its performance when the load fluctuates. The application monitor the number of access to the resources. In that way, the user will have the same experience despite the load. We have seen all characteristics for distributed system. Notice or not, some of the characteristics are related to one another. Can you map them? If you are able to, record it in your class notebook.